Chaka Khan, Chaka Khan, Chaka Khan, Shaka Khan. Let me rock it, let me
You
rock it,
know,
Chaka
there
Khan.
was
Let me rock it,
Genghis
so.
Khan, there was Kubla Khan. Then there was Daisy Khan recently, as we see, wife of the embattled Imam Ralph, as they argue about the building of the World Trade Center mosque site 2 blocks away. And then there's Chaka Khan, who has traditionally been at the side of Schooly Louis Farrakhan over the years. And now we have Department of Transportation Czarina, the protected one, the holy one, an untouchable in the Bloomberg administration, who goes into neighborhoods and says, move those freaking cars there. This will be a bike lane. And you wake up one morning and you see a freaking bike lane in your neighborhood, and there are no Pee Wee Hermans. There's nobody riding the big Chief Schwinn bicycles upways or forwards, not even Kung Fu Charlie delivering the Chinese fast food. On the line to discuss how this gets appropriated, this space for bike lanes, is James ODDO, who is city councilman from Staten Island and the Republican minority leader of the city council. Good morning, James.
Good morning, Curtis. Curtis, I know this is your show and you ask the questions, but you know Staten Island, so let me pose this question to you right off the bat. Why is it that the Travis Avenue intersection, the South Avenue project, the Annandale Amboy Road project, the Manor Road project, the Toad Hill Lane, Toad Hill Road, Circle Road project, all about putting dedicated turning lanes in, why have they taken 8 or more years, in part because they had to go through an environmental review? Yet since 2002 in the city of New York, we've installed 373 lanes, miles of bike lanes, and there hasn't been any environmental review. Why is that?
If there is one thing that blows people's minds out, and you're absolutely right, is that if you make a variance in a roadway for any other measure, you have to go before panel, committee, review. You have to get lawyers. You got to get experts that have to file papers on your behalf to do what it is that you're suggesting be done for your neighborhood. But you're right, the bike lane, why is it? Explain that to me. Why you can put a bike lane in and you don't even have to go before a hearing?
Well, you know, we think it's a valid question to ask, and Councilmember Vin Ignizio and I posed that question to the DOT Commissioner and Deputy Mayor Stephen Goldsmith, and we want to know why that is. But I have to tell you, Curtis, I have a confession of sorts. I have an apology of sorts.
Oh, wait a second. Hey, I'm not a Roman Catholic priest. Am I entitled to hear this confession?
Please allow me, Curtis, to confess my sins. I want to tell all the pro-bike lane people, supporters out there, I want to apologize to them. You know, the other day I joined this Google alert. You put a name in, and they let you know when your name is somewhere. So my cell phone's been buzzing. Treehugger.com, Gothamist.com, I'mGreenerThanYou.com, Shaka Khan. They're all going crazy because that we've posed this question, and I want to apologize to them. I've used them. I've used bike lanes. I've used them. My overarching goal here is to discuss the city's environmental review, which is an absolute disaster. It is both simultaneously overbroad and under-inclusive, which even in city government is a pretty amazing achievement. And at the end of the day, after the city makes you go through all these hoops, it forces you to identify quote-unquote environmental mitigations, but then does not compel you to do that. For instance, if you have a project and you go through this whole environmental review, it says, you know what, we think if you build this project, we think you should build a school. Oh, by the way, we don't compel you to build a school. It is an absolute disaster. It doesn't protect the environment. It kills jobs. And I've been trying to get somebody's attention in the administration to look at this for 3 years.
Now, what I'd like to do is figure out, why is this Czarina, the head of the Department of Transportation, this woman named Khan, why is she an untouchable? What is it about her that makes it such that people aren't able to cross-examine her, ask her tough questions, put her under the electron microscope? You must have a feel for this.
You know, I've had my run-ins with commissioners over the years. Listen, I had my run-ins with the previous DOT commissioner, Iris Weintraub, who I saw at the State of the City address last week, and I embraced warmly. I've never seen...
No, wait a second. She embraced you, the wife of Chuck Schumer, although she wouldn't go 10 feet near Chuck Schumer. I understand why she won't embrace him.
Well, Iris and I have had our battles, but I appreciated that even if we disagreed, at the end of the day, she actually did give me my day in court, and we could go to
Now,
her and talk to her about it.
Speaking of day in court, Councilman James Otto, slowly I turn step by step as I face the Outer Bridge crossing, and I am prepared to take it from Staten Island to Woodbridge, New Jersey, to the big box store called Walmart. You were an opponent, like so many are and have been, of Walmart coming into the five boroughs, but I get a sense you are beginning to change.
Yeah, the reality is Staten Islanders, as you say, are already shopping in Walmart. They're going over to New Jersey. And I've had concerns in the past. I've had concerns about their impact on other businesses. I've had their concerns that Walmart wasn't the great corporate citizen. And I think they've changed in the last 5 years. But more importantly, I think the economy has changed. And at this point, I say let Walmart find a piece of property, let them build a store, that's as of right, so they don't have to go through the Euler process, and let the marketplace dictate. What I am concerned about is that if they do come before the council, that we don't have some sort of contrived process to stop them. It's supposed to be based on land use, not on any particular philosophy. So at this point, they should do what people counseled them to do years ago, and that's find a piece of property that's within zoning so they can build as of right, and then let the marketplace dictate. And let
Are you aware of the latest, Councilman Otto? I think you need to look at the latest because Walmart has eyes for 99-cent Jack stores. They want to take out all the dollar stores. Walmart is saying it couldn't knock Target out of the box, couldn't knock Kmart, although they were on the ropes, Chapter 11, couldn't knock them out. So now they're going to the down low end. They want to knock out the dollar stores and take out 99-cent Jack stores. That's your favorite place to shop, Frank Morano.
That's where I did all of my Christmas shopping this year.
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, up next, we've got to get back to those geopolitical issues I told you about. We promote democracy, and it's the right thing to do. But then when we're upset with the results of democracy, what do we go about doing? Maligning the people who've won the elections fair and square. That's what's taking place in Lebanon, where we've promoted democracy. And now it looks like Hezbollah will have the prime minister seat, even though they're responsible for taking out the last prime minister. Oh, this is very confusing. We got to connect all the dots, tell you where all the bones are buried, because we know who buried them right here on the Curtis SLIWA Show.